Hi guys, welcome back to the channel again. Today we're just going to have a little bit of a mess around with some webbing. Got events starting next weekend, and although I'd set up a load of web gears, none of them are quite how I want them yet. I'm still getting together some bits of equipment to do some specific impressions based on photos that I found before. So what we're going to do until then is I'm just going to pop together a quick webbing to use with my M1 carbine. Not based on any particular photos, just using the correct generic equipment, using some nice bits of webbing that I've picked up recently. So I'll go over the bits of webbing we're going to use now, and then we can see about fitting it up and see how it looks when we're all done. Right guys, now before we start going through the webbing and putting them on the belt, I'm going to just show you something that I've done. So I've got a nice 1942 dated pair of suspenders here, originals, which I'm going to mount to this belt. Now, some of you probably noticed that I'm a bit of a lard, and that means I'm finding it basically impossible to find a nice original belt that will fit me, which is a problem because the reproduction ones mostly look awful. They fall apart nearly instantly most of the time. They're not good. But what I've got here is an original belt from like the Vietnam War, which have a different type of fitting, but they were bigger, and I can actually get one that fits me. I've got a couple of these. So what I've done is, I've got a rubbish repro belt that was falling apart. I've stolen the buckles from that belt, and I've fitted it to this Vietnam era belt because they're pretty much the same as the World War II ones, but they will actually fit a lard like me. So that was my big brain idea, and I think that's worked out not too bad. Now the one problem with this is that they do not have the button attached near the end here that you'd put your 1911 magazine pouch or your M1 carbine pouch, what that would actually connect to. So I've had another big brain idea of what combination of equipment to use this out of just stuff that I've got, so I'll show you that now. Right guys, so what we've got here is a nice pair of M1 carbine pouches that I got about a month ago. I found these, both dated 1943 by Updike Awning Co. And what's really cool about these is they are transitional. So you can see I've got the green and multiple shades of khaki on there. They're very cool little pouches, and I got them for a really nice price. They're both in pretty much perfect condition. But these have a bit of a weird feature that I've never seen before, and I don't know if any of you guys have. If you can leave a comment if you have, or give me some more information. They do not have a popper on them to fit onto the belt. If I get another pouch, bear with me just a second. If I get this OD pouch here, this is a 43 dated one as well. So if you see, they're the same, but that has obviously got the popper that you use to attach it to the belt. So as my belt hasn't got the popper, I thought I'd fit these on, and that would just kind of get rid of that problem altogether, because these wouldn't be able to fit onto it anyway. So these will be going on. Then we've got this really nice M43 e-tool cover. This is a second pattern one. So you can see that has an adjustable clip at the back, so you can put it at different heights depending on where you wanted. The earlier pattern of these, that was a fixed placement. So yeah, that's in pretty nice condition. I mean, it's fairly faded, but that's fine. That's not anywhere near as bad as my other one. You can still just about see the US on there. And that came with a nice e-tool. See, you've got there, it's got some lovely wear on the paint on the wood there. So this is what I'm going to have inside it. I don't know if I'll clean it up or not. As you can see, yes, that is a bit rough. But that was completely seized up, and I've freed it all up so that can actually be used. So I'm going to bung this e-tool cover on that belt as well. Put that down there for now. And then this will go in it whenever I want the e-tool on. Now, I want this weapon to be, it's only going to be temporary use, but I want it to be able to be suitable for driving the Jeep, and also as part of a machine gun team if I'm just walking about on foot. So what I'll probably do is, when I'm using it as a driving weapon, I'll take the e-tool and the cover off and just pop that in the Jeep somewhere. And then when we're walking about at events or anything like that, I'll put the tool and the cover on the belt. Right, so next up we've got a nice little canteen pouch I found. A nice, fairly faded OD one. but that's okay, that's in nice condition, that's perfect for this weapon. This isn't meant to be a Normandy invasion weapon, before anyone starts mentioning about all of the greenery, 'cause, I know a lot of people get upset about having too much greenery on their weapon on Normandy kit. This is meant to be sort of maybe during the Normandy invasion, like later on, or afterwards, maybe mid to late 44, you know, market garden sort of time. So that's why I'm specifically getting more of the green and less of the older khaki, because I wanted it to be for a slightly later impression, but nowhere near as late as my Garand weapon that you saw. I said Garand weapon, you know what I mean, the rifleman belt and everything that you saw, which is all M44 and M45 stuff, which is meant to be very late war in Germany. So this is going to be like a bridge between that impression and a full-on like Normandy D-Day impression. So I've got a fair amount of the OD stuff for it because I think that's nice and fitting. So we've got this nice little canteen pouch here. You can see it's got, unfortunately, all the markings are basically completely disappeared. And if I have a look inside it, yeah, I'm afraid I can't tell you the age of it or anything like that because that's just too faded. But that will do for this weapon nicely. Alright, and lastly, we're going to pop on this first aid pouch. This is just a nice one. And a 42 pattern one, so that's slightly bigger than the earlier ones you see. That'll fit in nice, you see with the pouch there, they're basically exactly the same colour. So they all go together quite nicely, I think. And then you just have the transitional pouches. Now I do have some just green pouches, but these are going to go on a dedicated Normandy weapon. But until I get that up and running, I'm going to put them on here just because of the popper thing, and I'm hoping between then and now I can find a proper belt that either fits or a reproduction one that's not garbage, so we'll see. So let's start fitting this all to the weapon. Right guys, so this is the basic way I'm thinking of having this laid out. So we'll have an M1 carbine pouch on each side, one where obviously it should normally be mounted on that popper, but the belt doesn't have one in order to the pouch, and then one matching that on the other side as well. And then we're going to have the other little bits of equipment laid out like this. So I've seen some TM manual diagrams where that shows that the canteen cover goes on the left hand side and the medical pouch goes on the right hand side. But that makes no sense to me because I'm right handed. When I want to go and get a drink, I naturally want to go like that and get my pouch with my right hand. So I'll swap these over. So I'm going to have that on the right hand side. Obviously this is going to look a bit backwards because of the way the belt is. This is the right hand side, that's the left hand side. Makes sense, hopefully. And I'm going to have the little pouch fitted next to it. The other option I can do that I'm thinking about, but we'll have to see how it goes together, is that I'll just have them outright swapped and I'll have the medical pouch there. I mean, this makes more sense to me, to be honest, because then I can just have this as a lightweight vehicle weapon, and I can pop an e-tool somewhere else wherever I need it, maybe in the vehicle or in the pack board or something like that, if I can get my words out for 5 seconds. So I'm going to just load it up like this, forget this for a minute, and just see what space and that we all have. Right guys, so let's get fitting these on. So we'll move that out of the way. We're going to put the pouch about there. So whilst I'm doing this, I might as well show you guys, just for you that haven't seen them before. Hopefully the camera will pick this up. So you see you've got your little like wire hanger on the end of your pouch here, and on the belt that's got these little loops. So all you do is put that through like that, and hopefully you can see that well enough on the camera because I know I'm not exactly close up. So you see they just go on there like that, and now your little first aid pouch is fitted. And that's the same with the canteens. They got exactly the same fit, and most things have the same fittings on. This one might be a little bit more awkward because I've got to get it in a bit between where the belt folds. So you won't be able to see this bit, I don't think. I give that a nice twist there. There you go. So now they're attached to the belt. Hopefully I ain't shaking the camera too much. Then with the pouches, they're easy. They just slide on. You see they come over like that and they just slide on the belt. So all you have to do is just unclip the suspender bit there. And then that will just slide over there like that. Now it looks like this one's actually got a bit of looseness going on, so I'll have to get the old knitting needle, the sewing needle out maybe, and have a go at that. But yeah, you put that on there like that. I'm going to want it there. And then you just put your suspender strap back on there, And now this is secured. That will move side to side a bit, but that doesn't matter too much. It's not like it's got a lot of weight in it. M1 carbine mags, they're not exactly heavy. Now you do exactly the same on this side because I'm having it on the pair. Hopefully this one's not tearing. Just fold that through there like that. Figure out where your clip was. Looks like that will be that. So then you've got the basic fittings done. So now I'm just going to pop this on and see what it's like, see what space we have available with it like this to fit the e-tool cover, because might be able to get away with popping this one over and then having that there like that. So let's have a look. Right guys, let's have a look and see what this looks like with it so far. I normally end up looking like an idiot when I'm doing this, but I haven't got any weight in it, so shouldn't be too bad. Obviously I've already set up the suspenders to the length and everything I wanted them, because that is a horrible process that I hate doing. So let's have a look what we got here. I'll use my monitor to see what it look like. There you go. What do you think, guys? Yay or nay? That probably will come up a bit there. That one. Yeah, I reckon that's alright. So we've got this big gap in the middle, but you know, I'm a lard, so I've got a big gap in my belt, as simple as that. Yeah, don't look too bad. Straps are in the right place. And the med kit's going to be there. Right, so this is what I was talking about. So with the belt on, around my massive girth, you can see that it's got a lot more space there than you think. So I might, if I can get my arm out of the way, be able to just have the e-tool there, and that would be in just the right place. Right, let's take this off and put the e-tool on there and see what that look like. Right guys, here it is with the e-tool cover. You see that's sitting in just about the perfect position to go down the side of my leg. Hopefully that won't get in the way. And actually should be able to drive the Jeep quite easily with that there. I'll just take the actual e-tool out of it and pop it in the back somewhere, so that should be fine. So yeah, what do you think? Let's get all of the equipment loaded into it, the mags and stuff like that, and then just see what it's like finished. Right guys, so here we are with the finished article all loaded up. So you've got 4 carbine mags in the pouches, 2 in each obviously. We've got an original cup and canteen in that pouch, and we've got the e-tool fitted. So you see the e-tool fits just the right position there, so it's not banging against my leg. I can move my leg freely. That doesn't whack me every time I take a step, so that's perfect. This will be nice and easy to get from there. I know some people haven't fitted further to the back, but I always end up pulling something out of joint when I do that because I'm an old man. And then I've moved the medical pouch back to where it was to start with. That looked more correct to me, so hopefully that will keep all of the people who like to get grumpy when they see medical kits here, hopefully that will keep them happy for 5 minutes, because you know, people love to complain. So apart from this belt, I know the belt is obviously a little bit too brown, but it's better than having one of them rubbish repos. Let me just grab a reproduction light OD green belt I've got for you, and you see what I mean. So this is my NAF weapon that I use for airsoft, just to, you know, wreck. It's all made out of reproduction stuff, and it's pretty awful. But just look at the colour of that belt. Isn't that just vile? Yeah, so that's the alternative as far as I'm concerned, is that, and that is awful, and I'm not doing it. So we'll stick with this, I think. So I'll just take it off, pop it on the table layout so you can see it laid out, and I'll just have a couple of mentions, a couple of other bits I want to talk to you about. Right guys, so you have it. Hopefully you like this weapon. I know it's not perfect like I say, because you've got the belt and all that, but you know, at least that's an original of some sort. So we'll try and get that sorted out. And again, this is only a temporary setup. I will be changing bits and pieces of it. I've got some very neat idea for the suspenders, but I need to do some research before I change it. So yeah, all I'm going to do now is just pop some friction tape around there. I'm not going to bother recording that, just so this isn't flapping around all the time. And I think we're there. Now events start next weekend for the group that I'm in. We'll be attending a lot of small events and some bigger ones. The one next weekend is really quite small, but I just want to get a couple of ideas from you guys. What would you like to see whilst I'm out there? Because I'll probably have time to do some filming, even if not during the event itself. in the evening when there's still enough light, should be able to get the camera out and do some little videos for you. So obviously I'll show you a proper walk around of the Jeep setup, how it's going to be. Next weekend that will be with the 50 cal in it, which you haven't seen yet. So I will get you a video of walk around of that fully loaded with the 50 cal and everything in. Obviously I'll be using this webbing in it as well. And probably won't be setting up any tents next weekend because there's no grass, the ground's a bit rubbish where that's going to be. So yeah, if there's any bits of the bigger equipment that you haven't seen yet that you'd like to see, or maybe I'll just give you a walk around of the 50 cal itself as well as, you know, doing a bit on the Jeep. So just little bits like that. But anyway, events are starting soon, so that'll be only a matter of time before we get to some places where I can start doing some more like living history sort of things to record for you, showing you stuff like that. So hopefully you enjoyed this little video today. It's just a bit of a bonus one really for the week. Any ideas on things I missed for this? Anything improvements, please leave comments, especially if we've got links to original photos. Obviously this hasn't got a combat knife or anything fitted to it. I do have this reproduction fighting knife, which I'll just probably have strapped inside the gaiter of my boot, because this will be worn with normal rough H with gaiters on it. So I'll probably have, this will be to hand, so I wouldn't worry about the fact that it hasn't got a knife or anything on it like that. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this, and I'll catch you next time.